Coming at you live in the heart of Lincoln, America.
I said, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
On air and online at theticketfm.com. Here are your hosts, Jake Bakoven and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
This is the Ticket Water Cooler here on 93.7 The Ticket. We'll be happy to be with you here from 12 to 1, your lunch hour every weekday from Monday through Friday. Of course, today is the 13th and my sister's birthday. So shout out to my sister. Happy birthday to her. Also, you told me another birthday today.
It is Logan Smothers' birthday.
Hey, there you go.
Happy birthday to my quarterback, Logan Smothers.
There you go. I believe it's Paul Pierce's birthday. There's a lot of birthdays going around. If Nebraska, let's see, Casey Thompson goes down for a play or two. Logan is your
Smothers.
guy. You want Logan over?
Smothers, yes. Yes, Logan Smothers.
Interesting. Might they run a different offense, or you think it'd be the same offense?
He can run the same offense. He can throw. But the only difference is he's more mobile.
Oh, he'll look to run.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You run some RPOs, maybe some option plays. Yeah, give me Logan Smothers.
Yeah,
especially behind that offensive line. Give me Logan Smothers.
What about a designed package for Logan?
I would like that. No, I mean
not necessarily.
No, not really. I mean, if your offense is working, just keep running with it.
Well,
but,
I mean, if you're necessarily
you're right. The last two games. Well, no, Indiana was okay.
Just the last game.
It was okay. The last game was bad, but it's one game.
Yeah,
you're all right.
Really, just one half.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens against Purdue. If the offense is still struggling, then maybe you guys switch some stuff up.
Yeah, I was doing it again. It's just amazing to look through the Big Ten rush defense numbers because Nebraska's dead last, as we know, because of the start of the season. But there's like 8 teams that don't allow, and I'd have to go back and look at it exactly. There's like 8 teams that don't allow 100 yards rushing at this point in the season. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not great.
The Big Ten is the land of defense.
Now, is it? And people keep asking this, is this because the defenses are good or because the offenses are bad? Well, the offenses in the Big Ten want to run the ball. They can't really pass the ball, so you can load up against the run. So it could be a mix of both, or it could just, one could be true, or it could be a mix of good defenses and bad offenses. So.
Well, to me, it's at some point you have to accept the landscape. You have to accept what's around you. This is what we're talking about the other day is, I think you've got. I think if you're going to win in Nebraska, you've got to look as the other teams do. I understand the idea of trying to go outside the box, and Purdue has had success at times. Nebraska here and there, but it's like they just have the idea of rising above that, having better recruiting, whatever, and then they're getting beat up. Nebraska the last couple of years. Part of the reason they haven't been good is because of their front lines.
Mm-hmm.
And just as opposed to the Big Ten West. So you can call them slow and prodding and not having magical quarterbacks, all that. But you got to get past the step of having your strength and condition, your team at that level. Then throw in all the extra flair and recruiting, Florida and California athletes or whatever of skill positions.
Yeah, you gotta get used to the physicality of it. You don't necessarily have to fall in line and be a slow, prodding, run the ball type of offense. But the one thing that you need to do is have a defense that can stop a slow, prodding, physical, run the ball kind of offense. And in order to do that, you're going to have some type of strong defense. But on top of outside of the defense, your offense is going to have to offer some type of resistance in practices that sort of mirrors, or at least your practice squad sort of mirrors what other Big Ten teams are going to run. If you've got, not small because no offensive linemen aren't really that small, but if you've got quicker offensive linemen that you've got for a passing game or for outside running, if you try to mirror, a Minnesota, for example, right now, or an Illinois, for example, right now, who are going to pound it in the middle, it's going to look different for your defense, and they're going to think they're having success until they go up against, 300+ pound center and guards who are just shoving them back and like, well, this wasn't happening in practice. Well, yeah, because you were going up against, 280 pound guards who are used to pulling and getting out in open space and blocking corners and linebackers, as opposed to somebody who's used to, putting their head down and getting their hands into your chest and shoving you out of the way.
Oh, and I kind of had that too. If you were kind of listening to the reports coming out of practice, was hey, they're having a strong running game. This offense is starting to get going against, and we knew the defensive line was already thin. Ty Robinson was wore out, all that, but we didn't know to what degree it was as bad as it was for the defense early on in the season. Now, again, they're recovering. They've been really good shutting opponents out in the last second halves of the past 2 games.
And the running game actually was pretty good. Is pretty good.
Solid.
One running back is actually really good. I mean, you lost your second string, your true freshman, to an injury, but your starting running back is actually really good. And him having success against that defense was in part because the defense was so bad at run defense, but also the fact that he is an extremely talented running back.
Yeah, and it'll be very key to see if they can open up some holes. Again, Purdue, one of those teams, doesn't allow 100 yards rushing per game, hasn't allowed a 100-yard rusher. And Rutgers is a team that's pretty tough up front. We saw that. Is that going to be is Nebraska, because we saw Nebraska's offensive line particularly overwhelmed, especially in the pass rush category against Oklahoma. They can't. I mean, I can't say they can't. It possibly could happen. Like, I didn't think there was too many lines that would overwhelm them. Yes, they were going to be a problem. Yes, you're going to have to overcome it. But as far as being overwhelmed, I didn't think that would be the case. But if you look at some of these Big Ten West teams, man, it's difficult. At the same time, we do this every year with Wisconsin. Every year, Wisconsin's got like a top 5 defense. They allow like 60 yards rushing or whatever, and then Nebraska plays them and you're like, I didn't see it. I don't really understand what the problem was.
I don't know what happened.
So and then Wisconsin wins. So it's a weird try to nail all that down and try to figure it out where it is lines up exactly, because you're right. Part of it is the offenses that they're playing. And whether that be in the Big Ten or some of the out of conference Midwest teams that have to do, similar things to try to compete in the MAC or whatever else they're playing in, part of it is that, but to be sure, I don't care who you're playing against. If you don't allow a 100-yard rusher through half a season, you've done something right. I don't care who you're playing.
You're doing pretty well. Pretty well for yourself. That's a solid run defense, regardless of who you're facing, because everybody, I mean, even air raid teams want to run the ball with some small amount of success, just because they want to keep the pressure on you. You believe they're going to pass the ball. I mean, Georgia Southern, their air raid offense, they wanted to pass the ball. They ran the ball with a lot of success against Nebraska, and again, that was a different defense that was allowing 1 million yards rushing a game. But even then, they were airing it out with success. They were running it with success. So even a team that has a certain style of offense that they want to run, they realize, look, if we want to have any type of success, we've still got to have some sort of cohesion in our offense between running and passing the ball.
And Purdue over the years has been the one team in the Big Ten that would completely abandon the run. And not really think too much about it. This year, I'm interested to see, if Nebraska can step up and play the strong defense that they've been playing, and limit these guys down. I think Devin Mockabee, a freshman walk-on for this Purdue team, is probably going to be the primary running back that's going to be back there. And he's a big kid. We've talked about this too. Purdue's got, he looks kind of like a fullback back there.
Only got big bodies.
Yeah. But he was limited last week, and Purdue was still able to win, but he wasn't as much a part of it. 2 weeks ago, he had 100 yards rushing. So, it can kind of bounce back and forth there, but it's weird. It's like if you game plan against Purdue to try to take away the pass, like, good luck. But you could game plan to take away the run. Yeah. Even though it's not their strength, completely eliminate it, because they'll play along. I mean, they'll go away from it.
When they do run the ball, they run the ball. Well, when they have success running the ball, it's very, a limited amount of runs for a lot of success. They've only had 2 100-yard rushers this season. Dylan Downing had 113 against FAU on 15 carries. And like you just said, Devin Mockabee had 112 on 11 carries against Minnesota. So those are their only 200-yard rushing games, and it took them less than 20 attempts.
Yeah, it's not as a result of going to them more often.
No, it's just big plays here and there, and mostly relying on the pass, and then throwing a wrench in there and handing the ball off to the running back when you've only got 4 people in the box because you're expecting them to sling it all over the field. So Purdue's they're going to run the ball. I don't know if Nebraska, if they're going to focus more on the pass and just kind of rely on their defensive line and maybe a single linebacker to stop the run and try to focus more on stopping the pass, or what exactly they're going to go with. But with the level of defense they've been playing in the last 2 games, you faced a team that likes to pass and doesn't like to run that much in Indiana. You faced a team that likes to run and doesn't really like to pass, mostly because they have 3 separate quarterbacks trying to sling the rock in Rutgers. So maybe those 2 games have set you up well for facing, again, like I said earlier in the week, a team in Purdue that is decent at just about every phase of the game. They're not bad. They're not great. They're a solid team all the way around.
Yeah, and O'Connell's gonna throw the ball around the yard, but you're right. I mean, it's not like they're kind of like Indiana. It's and they're better. They're a better passing team. I think O'Connell's a bit more of a threat there. But even in the past games against Nebraska, I don't know if he's had a 300-yard game. I think he's won all of them, but I don't think he's had massive.
If he wins this, he's like 4-0 against Nebraska in his career.
Which is also interesting. I'd like to go down the list of quarterbacks that have been able to do something like that. Obviously, he's a married man. He's been around for quite some time.
Just a smidge.
He gets the benefit of playing in this era and getting an extra season. But that's kind of interesting. Also, a reminder too: Milton Wright was actually supposed to be a pretty big time receiver for them. Last year, he was pretty solid. Obviously, overshadowed a little bit by their leading receiver, who ended up being, I think, a 2nd-round pick, or one of the top.
I think he was one of the top 10 receivers.
David
taken.
Bell, he was just one of the top receivers in the nation. But there was some question marks about who was going to fill those shoes. Obviously, they went out and got Charlie Jones. He has been the answer. 50 receptions, 603 yards, 7 touchdowns.
Who would have thought? Charlie Jones, coming out of Iowa.
Yeah.
Barely had 25 receptions in his career at Iowa. Just blowing up at Purdue.
Well, and you could see, he flashed at Iowa, and it was like, I'm never going to get more than like 18 targets.
Yeah.
Here.
I got to make them count.
Yeah. So he went from literally the Big Ten's least pass threat to one of the ones that's that's the program that it relies on it. So very smart move by him. I think he's pretty much at this point Iowa's Wan'Dale Robinson, if Wan'Dale Robinson transferred in your same conference.
Yeah, but I think Wan'Dale had more success or more of an impact at Nebraska than Charlie had at Iowa.
Maybe, but Charlie was like an all Big Ten kick returner at Iowa.
That is true. But they didn't misuse him. They just didn't use him.
Just didn't throw to him very much.
It wasn't misuse. It was lack of use.
Well, they're still looking for that.
It's not like they put him at tight end or something.
Yeah.
They were using him as wide receiver. Just they ran the ball all the time, and their quarterback couldn't get the ball to him.
My goodness.
At least Wan'Dale got the ball.
I think years from now, when we describe the Scott Frost era to people, that's obviously going to be.
It's going to be weird. It's going to be really
talk
weird.
About McCaffrey's and Wan'Dale Robinson.
Yeah, at one point, there was a McCaffrey, that really good running, but Christian McCaffrey. Yeah, we had his brother.
Yeah.
That Hall of Fame quarterback. Yeah, we had his son.
Played him out of position.
It's going to be really weird.
Yeah. Very strange. And Adrian's not helping it this year, because that's going to be wrapping up the story too. Is Adrian wouldn't just had success.
Remember that guy that was like fantastic that one year at Kansas State? Yeah, he was our quarterback for 4 years. Well, how did he do? I didn't win much.
No, didn't have a big win. Man, what a frustrating era. And I was kind of thinking back to that too.
It's a weird 4 years.
Oh yeah, I was thinking back to it even during the 0-6 start, because the Purdue game kind of pops up in that one. I can't remember if that's the one or it's the next year.
That was a winnable game.
That was a winnable game.
Winnable game.
And Aiden O'Connell, part of finding a new way to lose, Aiden O'Connell was right in that, because
was he the backup?
He was a backup. He came in late. He's a walk-on quarterback, and he led the game-winning drive, and Nebraska couldn't get one. And it was like, okay, well, there's another way to lose, to a walk-on backup quarterback. Turns out Aiden O'Connell's pretty good, but.
If I'm going to ask the text line and the stream, the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and the Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line, 402-464-5685. Of the last 4 years, the Scott Frost regime era at Nebraska, what is the weirdest storyline to come out of these last 4 years? Like what are you going to look back on in, I don't know, 10 years and just that really happened? Like,
Yeah.
we were all sitting here, and that happened, and for some reason, we were like, meh, it's fine. Meh.
I think Joe Burrow is probably going to be the
You
one
think
that
that he's
stings the most. That's got staying
It's going to,
power.
100%, it's all going to be revisionist history, but that one's got, you think he's better than what we got?
That's
going to be.
And Joe Burrow might still be in the league in 15 years, and we'll be like, man, I can't believe we missed on him.
Yeah.
Twice.
That's going to be a weird one. And we all looked at it and we were like, Frost is right.
I don't know. That's how we. It's kind of funny because I remember reporting on that, and it was like
People wanted Joe Burrow, but at the same time, again, Adrian's coming off of freshman year.
No one was too upset about it when he left, but it went from like the week leading up to Joe Burrow's announcement or whatever was kind of like, hey, this would be a good addition, get the quarterback room stacked.
Mm-hmm.
And then once it happened, then everybody turned. Nebraska didn't get him, then everybody turned and like, yeah, we don't need him, absolutely not. Like, but I was still there, like, hey, I wouldn't give I don't care who he is, I wouldn't give one man your program. Put all your there's a guy from Ohio State. How often do you get a chance to get Ohio State quarterback?
They got an Ohio State corner.
Well, they did.
Gus Mohawk says, didn't Les Miles' nephew play here too? Was that before Scott, or was that?
I think that was a Riley guy.
Yeah, I think that was a Riley guy. I think he transferred after Riley got fired.
Well, I think Nebraska's at least
transferred to LSU.
Between Riley and Frost, is you've got to know, knowing people in football circles are fine, but Keyshawn Johnson Jr. and Les Miles and McCaffrey's and all these other guys, like, it's not going to put you over the top. You can't just recruit everybody's sons.
Why not? It works. Everybody that's ever had success playing football, their son must be as good as them.
Well, I think that's been part of the approach.
Sometimes it works. Sometimes it does not.
Would Mike Riley even be hired without the Calabrasca movement? Do you think that he went into the meeting with
process?
Sean?
I will get everyone from California
talking about Keyshawn Johnson Jr. and his.
That one should have worked. That one makes me sad.
That one shouldn't have worked.
That one should have worked.
I remember going to the first.
He was a 4-star, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he wasn't a real 4-star. Like,
what do you mean?
Well, I mean, he had like numbers. Like Cade Warner put up numbers in high school. That doesn't mean that you're ready to be a D1 athlete at this level.
That should have worked too.
That's another guy's son. But no, like,
are you trying to say that Arch Manning isn't going to work at Texas?
No, like, and it's funny too because most people. Like, even I won't say most, but there are a lot of like notable athletes that are you don't even know are related to other athletes. So like, it definitely is part of it. It just seems like Nebraska's been relying on certain families a little bit more than they need to be. McCaffrey's, Keyshawn Johnson's,
the Johnsons.
But
unfortunately, the wrong Johnsons.
Yeah. The wrong McCaffrey.
Well, you weren't getting the right McCaffrey. That one was long gone.
Yeah, that one was gone. Either way, it is an interesting question. So you guys can answer that too on the text line 402-464-5685. Started him in text line. What do you think you'll remember most about the Scott Frost era? We'll continue to look at Purdue, some interesting storylines in the Big Ten as well. And I'm going to have Rico do this fun exercise. Best Big Ten West winning quarterback.
You say fun.
I have fun.
I don't think this is going to be fun.
We'll do that coming up next year on the Ticket Water Cooler 93.7 The Ticket.
Walters Painting salutes America's armed forces for the sacrifices they have made. They are angels of freedom and our wings of protection, fighting hard each and every day to defend our country. They are truly America's heroes. This message is brought to you by Jeff Walters at Walters Painting, your interior, exterior, commercial, and residential painting experts. Where they don't cut corners, they paint them. To book an estimate, visit walterspaintinginc.com. Walters Painting of Lincoln, wishing you a safe Veterans Day.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 27th Street.
Water heater gone? Call Bryant. The price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. And in most cases, same-day replacement. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111.
Wow. Did you ever save me money on my car?
Yes, that's why our customers keep coming back.
How do you do it, friendly car dealer ?
We simply have low overhead and high trade-in values. The next line's yours.
Oh.
Ready for something better? Mullen Motors is a no-hassle, no-pressure dealership with financing available. Check out the inventory at MikeMullenMotors.com.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Hey, this is Ernest Heisman. As a linebacker from Nebraska, I know how important it is to have a strong defense and a great playbook. If you are looking for a solid team to have your back, check out my friends at Burke Brown Law. Burke and Jackson will work with you to create an individualized strategy to bolster your defense.
Hi, this is Burke. Give us a call at 402-606-1441. With locations in Lincoln and Columbus, we're ready to tackle your needs. Find us online at burkebrownlaw.com.
Mike Schaefer here for Trek CBD. It's football season, and that means you're tailgating with friends, or if you're like me, yelling at the TV during Vikings games. Trek CBD has a variety of products that help calm me down during the games, so don't scare my dog. But in the rare cases that I yell too much, there's CBD products for him, too, and all other pets. Whether you're looking for drinkable Delta 8 seltzers, hemp-derived Delta 9 syrups for your beverages, or anything else, Trek CBD has it all at 84th and Anderson. Trek CBD done right.
Your high school football coverage rolls on right here on 93.7 The Ticket. Hey guys, it's Nick Sainer. Join me this week from Seacrest Field for 2 games. On Thursday, we get our first look at Millard West as they travel to Lincoln to face off against Lincoln Southwest. The Silverhawks look to get their 7th win of the season on Thursday, which would be the most wins for Lincoln Southwest in a single season since 2018. On Friday at 7 p.m., it's Lincoln North Star and Lincoln East squaring off. The Spartans still have some work to do to solidify themselves in the playoffs, while the Gators are on the outside looking in. Make sure you tune in this Thursday and Friday for all your Week 8 high school football action right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club or space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about a margarita club? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge and join the best club in town. 10 flavors of margaritas like Maui Wowie, burnt pineapple, and mango tango. Try all 10 of them and receive your own souvenir margarita glass. Make it your new Monday night tradition. $4 margaritas and $4 taco baskets. Grab the crew and head on over Monday nights or any night. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
People always ask, what are Jake and Sip like when they're off the air? Well, the answer probably won't surprise you.
Hey, Jake, your Honda's looking a little dirty.
Says the guy whose license plate is barely visible.
I mean, do you even care about that thing anymore?
It gets a little uncomfortable. Now, that's when I jump in.
Hey, whoa. Mark, did you get a new car?
Nope, just took my car down to Nebraska Auto Detail. Joe and the staff made the outside and the inside look amazing. Maybe you guys need to go.
Okay, wise guy.
Settle down, Jake.
Book your appointment today at NebraskaAutoDetail.com.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
We have to learn from what's happening right now. Frost waded into this with a formula system that didn't work. Now, there were coaches that were telling me that, but how do you know? How do you know? There was one coach in particular that said, Sipple, I don't know if you know this, but they just hired 2 coaches whose systems will not work in the Big Ten. And I said, oh, give me a break. You don't know what you're talking about.
Right so far.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action. Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Back to the Ticket Water Cooler. Brought to you by Wingstop on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are rocking out with you here on the Ticket Water Cooler on 93.7 The Ticket. And we've got some more Husker football talk, Big Ten talk all together here. But I wanted to go back in time because my favorite broadcaster, maybe my favorite broadcaster of all time, right up there with Pat Summerall. Pat Summerall was great as well, is Brent Musburger. And Brent Musburger, unfortunately, his career was well known for over the years with, Keith Jackson, all those guys, the Rose Bowl.
Brent Musburger said some things.
Yeah, but he's
like Nick was talking about, like RG3 saying some out of pocket things yesterday. Brent Musburger, if RG3's trying to be like anybody, he's trying to be like Musburger because that man.
Because I think there are different takes already on RG3 as a commentator. Some people like it. It's new. It's different.
Hilarious.
I don't think it's necessarily great.
It's hilarious. I love it.
Yeah, see that
he gives his football insight as well, but we're only nitpicking all the thing, and he doesn't say it like the entire. It's like once or twice a broadcast.
Yeah.
It's not like he's saying it the entire time, and he's gonna be. No, it's every once in a while, and it's funny. It's a little break in the action, especially when you're watching Oregon State play football.
Hey,
what?
Go Beavers! What do you say about the Beavers this week? You can repeat that one.
Well, yeah, I can. So it's not risky, but it's a little questionable. I don't remember who they were playing, but it was like a gang tackle, and they, hit him like hard. And RG3's like, man, he's beating that beaver up.
Oh, there you go. And then you take it out of context. But
and then you're like,
people do that for everything.
Yeah.
Especially, offensive lines.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Premature snapulation.
There you
That was
go.
another one he said. That was funny.
Yeah. That one, that takes you a little farther away from the game than I want to be. I want to watch football.
It was the center got in trouble because he snapped the ball before everybody was ready. That's what it was. He asked his play-by-play guys, you know what we call that? The play-by-play guy said, I don't know, a pump fake. And then he said what I said.
Well, let's get to Brent Musburger. This is well known, but it's always worth a listen. And he's been in the news again for trying to defend it. Here was Brent Musburger on AJ McCarron's girlfriend.
When you're a quarterback at Alabama, you see that lovely lady there. She does go to Auburn. I want to admit that. But she also, this Alabama, and that's AJ McCarron's girlfriend, okay? And right there on the right is Dee Dee Bonner. That's AJ's mom. Wow, I'm telling you, quarterbacks, you get all the good-looking women. What a beautiful woman. Wow, AJ's doing some things like that. So if you're a youngster in Alabama, start getting the football out and throw it around the backyard with Pop.
It's so
like it would have been fine if he would have stopped like a minute ago, but he just kept going.
He's like,
if he would have just been like, "That's AJ McCarron's girlfriend." Yeah. Look, Alabama quarterbacks, you get all the good-looking women. If he would have stopped there, cool. But then he kept, wow.
Kirk's trying to say anything.
Kirk's like, yeah, we should get back to the game, Brent.
Yeah. Well, he just didn't let Kirk die. He's like, whoa.
Hey, whoa. So if you're a young boy in Alabama, start tossing the football around the backyard with Pops.
Now, and Brent Musburger, this wasn't the only time. He would occasionally oogle at a woman in the crowd once in a while, right? It happens. The reports are out now that he blames woke journalists, which, there's a lot to blame about woke journalists. Woke journalists for villainizing his oogling over Catherine Webb. He's just trying to give her a comment.
Brent.
It's the woke media.
It's not the woke media.
Everything's the woke media.
It's you spending like a minute and a half talking about her looks when there's a football game going on.
It was so sad because that was the end. Like he was the premier broadcast with Kirk, and then he's been like thrown off to do like SEC network games, Raiders stuff.
But, he did it from time to time, and it was like, yeah, okay, whatever. But that one was just like, it just took him a little bit. He just went on a little too long.
Like Brent, you're older now. It's getting creepier.
It's like Brent, you need to stop. Okay, oogle in the time in the breaks
on your own time.
Yeah, don't oogle on the broadcast. What are you doing?
Oh man.
Whoa.
It's just funny what the different things that we will accept and like. Like I'm fine with oogling Brent Musburger, but I don't want jokes from RG3.
Yeah, see, that's weird. That's like the same thing.
Yeah,
it's like the same thing.
Yeah, maybe. I think that Brent's,
You just like Brent more.
I just like Brent Munzberger.
That's just because RG3 hasn't been doing it very
There's
long.
something about old guys talking football to me that I'm like, hey, they know. They've seen a lot.
Yeah.
They know.
Sometimes they don't know.
Sometimes they don't know.
But they've seen a lot.
They've still seen a lot. But so that's your latest update there. Brent Musburger, count him as somebody against the woke media.
Against the woke media.
What's
up, Brent?
There you go. Wisconsin offensive lineman Logan Brown dismissed from the program. Jim Leonard announced earlier today. I believe he was starting. He was a big-time recruit for them.
He was the number 4 offensive tackle in the class of 2019, the number 1 recruit out of Michigan, the number 17 overall recruit, again, the class of 2019. I think he redshirted his freshman year, started all 7 games in 2020, and then all the games last year. And then he started for 209 snaps this year. Don't know how many games that is. But in 209 snaps, he got demoted to backup and now third string because he was struggling. And for Wisconsin standards, struggling is he gave up 4 pressures on his 209 snaps.
Is that in a drive? We've seen some offensive linemen give up.
That is a team leading 4 pressures this season on 209 snaps. So he got his third string now.
Well, it's interesting because initially the reports were that he was, entering the transfer portal or whatever, and then Jim Leonard announced today they kicked him off the team. So there's some sort of internal.
So Logan announced he was entering the transfer portal for his 5th year. He's going to play somewhere else. And then I guess Jim Leonard might have had a press conference today, and they asked him about it. He goes, no. He's not entering. He was kicked off the team.
We kicked him off.
That's why he's transferring.
Also should be noted today, Mickey Joseph said he doesn't expect Thomas Fedone to play this season. They're going to kind of be careful with him. I think that makes a little bit more sense.
I am fine with that. Yeah. I don't know what anybody else thinks. Again, you guys can throw in your comments, 402-464-5685, Honda Lincoln Hotline, Starter Aim text line. You guys can throw your comments at us, but I'm fine with that. The dude tore his ACL twice in 2 seasons. I think rushing him back to play this season is unnecessary. And regardless of what happens, as long as he doesn't transfer, which he seems like a guy that's mostly about being a Husker, playing for the university. I don't think he really cares who the coach is. So as long as he's still here, he's going to get a lion's share of the snaps next year because he is that talented of a tight end. Well, he was before he tore his ACLs. I hope he still is. So, rushing him back this season, probably unnecessary. I know he tore it during fall camp and he should be able to, with all the improvements in medical technology and everything, he could be ready by the end of the season. But just the ability to kind of sit him and let him get 120% healthy before next season is something that I believe that this coaching staff and whatever coaching staff comes in next, if they do hire a new coaching staff, should really do and look forward to using Thomas Fedone next season. Because look, you have Vokalek, and is he a senior or does he have one more year? Or
No,
is he done?
I think he's
COVID year.
I think he's added an extra year. I think he's an older guy.
Yeah, I don't know exactly where he's at.
It's hard to get lost with a lot of
these
guys,
the COVID thing and everything.
Miles Farmer somehow is a sophomore. We looked that up the other day.
Yeah, it's weird.
I think
he redshirted. Well, he redshirted, then he got hurt.
Yeah,
so that's 2 years, and then COVID, so that's 3 years. So yeah, something weird like that.
4-year sophomore.
Yeah, something weird like that. So yeah, that's weird. But you've got Vokalek and Borkacher's kind of come out this year. Brewington's getting more passes his way this season. You have all the young guys outside of Thomas Fedone. So you're sitting decent in your tight end room right now. So you come back next year with 120% healthy Thomas Fedone, he'll more than likely be your number 1 option. So if he can, as long as he can stay healthy through the rest of the season, through the off season, I think that's better for him to sit.
Yeah, and he only played briefly last year, obviously coming off the injury. Maybe there's an idea that maybe they rushed him back or he wanted to get back early, play 85% or whatever, and maybe that can kind of create your next injury problem. So I think it's a good to just kind of sit him. It'll be interesting if he gets closer to 100%. And there's 4 games left in the season, and Nebraska's in the Big Ten West race. If they think that that's worth a look there, but it's just like you said, it's like one of those things. Isn't 80% Thomas Fedone better than 100% Chancellor, or probably like 95? Everybody's probably a little dinged up, but 95% Chancellor Brewington. Not that I've seen yet. So I don't know. He'd have to work his way up the depth chart there as well too. So we'll kind of see how that turns out. I think that's probably for the best. One other Big Ten note here: former Ohio State All Big Ten tackle has been banned from the program for revealing team secrets, like formation schemes and stuff like that, while working as a credentialed media member for Buckeye Scoop. He and his partner over there at Buckeye Scoop were escorted out of practice, at least in one period of time. But apparently for clicks, they're giving up a little bit too much of the recipe. He's actually a former assistant coach there too. So it's kind of interesting, all the there's. I suppose there's a portion of the fan base, and there's in any fan base that wants to see more power, more opportunity for former players. And Ohio State, I think, has pretty much. If you're a former player, you can come watch practice. But you got to be on the lookout too. There's some alternative motives for some of these guys.
That is wild.
Yeah, and at Ohio State, I mean, that's it's not like he's. No offense to Purdue or playing this week. It's not like they're taking Purdue's secret. This is like.
I wonder if Michigan's been paying attention.
Right. I don't know. Yeah, he's just letting too much of the company secrets out. So kind of an ugly situation there, but I thought notable, very interesting.
Like
all right,
secret ingredients.
I promised it. I know you guys are all waiting on the edge of your seat. You want to know Rico's rankings of Big Ten West quarterback champions. So we'll do that coming up next year on the Ticket Water Cooler 93.7 The Ticket. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Your high school football coverage rolls on right here on 93.7 The Ticket. Hey guys, it's Nick Sainer. Join me this week from Seacrest Field for 2 games. On Thursday, we get our first look at Millard West as they travel to Lincoln to face off against Lincoln Southwest. The Silverhawks look to get their 7th win of the season on Thursday, which would be the most wins for Lincoln Southwest in a single season since 2018. On Friday at 7 p.m., it's Lincoln North Star and Lincoln East squaring off. The Spartans still have some work to do to solidify themselves in the playoffs, while the Gators are on the outside looking in. Make sure you tune in this Thursday and Friday for all your Week 8 high school football action right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. People first is more than a nice sentiment. At American Senior Benefits, it's the mission. If you're ready for a career where you can truly put your customers' needs ahead of everything else, this is for you. American Senior Benefits is one of the leading senior market insurance product distributors in the country, and they're looking for high-energy applicants with strong communication skills. Enjoy on-the-job training, a fun work environment, and unlimited income potential. Visit asbmidwest.com to learn more. American Senior Benefits.
Hey, this is Ernest Heisman. As a linebacker from Nebraska, I know how important it is to have a strong defense and a great playbook. If you are looking for a solid team to have your back, check out my friends at Burke Brown Law. Burke and Jackson will work with you to create an individualized strategy to bolster your defense.
Hi, this is Burke. Give us a call at 402-606-1441. With locations in Lincoln and Columbus, we're ready to tackle your needs. Find us online at burkebrownlaw.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
How's Wingstop sound? Crispy, juicy, classic wings. Made to order, cooked to perfection. And sauced and tossed in those 11 soul-satisfying flavors. Paired with hand-cut seasoned fries, house-made honey mustard, blue cheese, or signature Wingstop ranch. And, of course, spicy Cajun fried corn. I think you've heard enough. Get your flavor delivered at wingstop.com.
Trendy or traditional, Gary Michaels Clothiers specializes in men's tailored clothing. Off the rack or custom made to measure, there is simply no better shopping experience. Offering designer furnishings, sportswear, shoes, outerwear, and accessories for a man always concerned at looking his best. With world-class tailoring and personal service, all makes Gary Michaels Clothiers Nebraska's premier store for men. Come visit us now at Village Gardens, south of 56th and Pine Lake Road in Lincoln.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew live from Tipsy Tina's in the Haymarket as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Brought to you by A1 Automotive, Mullen Motors, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Bauer Underground, Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group, and Ritchie Brothers.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from the program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 o'clock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Windy conditions will be in place yet again today as northwest winds could gust over 40. A red flag warning will be in effect this afternoon due to critical fire danger as we see an afternoon high of around 61. A few passing clouds tonight with a low of 40. It will be windy again tomorrow but slightly warmer with a high of 71. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back to the Ticket Water Cooler, brought to you by Wingstop on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, it's the moment we've all been waiting for. Of course, Nebraska tied atop of the Big Ten West. We'll see with this showdown with Purdue, they could potentially be on top of the Big Ten West if Minnesota can beat Illinois. And Minnesota is actually favored to beat Illinois, the newly ranked Big Ten West flavor of the week, which might be somewhat cyclical this week. Maybe Illinois takes off and starts running. I wouldn't mind to watch Brett Bielema just take down this division, but
you sure?
I love Bert. I love Bert football. But probably more likely is that it's just going to continue to switch. Whoever's on top, whoever's kind of getting the big win as of late. In any case, the Big Ten West, fascinating division, of course, never has won the Big Ten. But Big Ten West champion has kind of a theme to it. And so we'll go through these numbers through these names of the starting quarterback. Well,
what's the theme, Bach?
The theme is tough football.
No, Bach,
good defense,
Bach,
good running game, average quarterbacks.
Bad quarterbacks.
Average quarterbacks. You can't win a division with a bad quarterback, or maybe you can, but we'll run through it here, which is crazy. In Nebraska, too, I mean, it is at this time, obviously with the coaching position open to maybe change things depending on philosophy. Maybe they just go with the best coach available. It's just interesting to see where they go with that. But I felt like this year was an idea to kind of not look more like a Big Ten West team, because it almost goes the exact opposite route where they kind of geared everything for the passing game. But it was more of an idea to take the Superman element out of the quarterback, which is in the Frost offense, which again, nothing similar to what's been working in the Big Ten West. So here are your remember the Big Ten West started after Legends and Leaders was taken down, and so they switched some teams around in 2014. So we've had 8 Big Ten West winners. 7 quarterbacks have won. So somebody won twice. So that's what I'll ask you first, is which one of these quarterbacks you think won twice?
Okay.
But first I'll name them, then we'll rank them and go along with
I hate
that.
this already. We haven't even started.
So we'll go in just in numerical order, or I guess as time goes on, I don't know what number order we would go there. Joel Stavi, one of your Big Ten West champions.
He won it twice.
He won it. We'll keep going. CJ Beathard, NFL quarterback. Alex Hornibrook, Clayton Thorson.
Hornibrook.
I think he's a USFL quarterback.
Clayton
now.
Thorson.
Clayton Thorson won one. Jack.
Do they have to stay at quarterback to count as winning it twice? Because I think he won it once as a quarterback and once as a wide receiver.
I don't think Clayton Thorson ever went to wide receiver.
Are you sure?
I don't think so.
Who am I thinking of at Northwestern that made? Whatever.
Yeah,
keep going.
Jack Cohn.
Oh wow.
Peyton Ramsey. Or Spencer Petras.
One of the Wisconsin, one of the Northwestern won it twice.
Well, Northwestern's won it twice, but
no, so it's Clayton and
yeah.
Okay,
And
so I want to say the first Wisconsin.
You're gonna go with Joel
twice.
Stavi?
Yeah.
Turns out it's Alex Hornibrook, your only two-time
Dang it. I knew it was a
Big
Wisconsin
Ten
guy.
West champion.
I know it was a
starting as
terrible Wisconsin quarterback. None of those guys ever made it in the NFL.
Hey, CJ Beathard's still in the NFL.
They made it in the NFL. They made it to the NFL. Made it in the NFL. He's like
No.
a third string now.
Well, yeah.
He started a couple games for the Niners when they lost their 5 other quarterbacks.
He did. He played about as you would expect him
He
to.
played exactly how he played in college. Not great, Bob.
All right. Is he still going to be on top of your rankings, or who do you think goes number 1 here?
Oh,
I'll remind you again. You just got to pick out the best one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Joel Stavy, CJ Beathard, Alex Hornibrook, Clayton Thorson, Jack Cohn, Peyton Ramsey, or Spencer Petras.
It's either CJ Beathard or not Clayton. No, Clayton. Who's the other Northwestern?
Solid. Peyton Ramsey. He was there for a year. Cup of coffee.
Yeah,
Worked out well.
it's either Clayton Thorson or CJ Beathard. I'm gonna go with CJ Beathard.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with CJ
Yeah,
Beathard.
I mean, his team did go undefeated.
They are all terrible quarterbacks. Goodness, those are the quarterbacks that have won the Big Ten West.
This is all you have to outdo.
Golly.
Joel Stavy, CJ Beathard, Alex Hornibrook, Clayton Thorson, Jack Cohn, Peyton Ramsey, and Spencer Petras.
Those are some amazing defenses.
Oh, they all are.
Those are amazing defenses.
All of
Those are bad offenses.
Yep. That's why I said there's
Alex Hornibrook
there's a
won it
recipe
twice.
in this.
Alex
division.
Hornibrook won it twice that was their amazing run of run. I mean, they've always had good running backs, but
Oh,
they're
yeah.
like amazing run of running backs, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they had. I think early on, I think Joel Stavy was especially with like the Melvin Gordons.
Mhm.
And then once you get into Taylor, I think that's probably Hornibrook.
Yeah, he definitely had Jonathan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there might have been like a James White? James White was like a freshman.
Yeah, he was with
for
Stavy,
Stavy.
probably. Yeah.
He might have been like a senior. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just dumb. that list of quarterbacks is just dumb.
It tells you there's a certain recipe for the Big Ten West, and also tells you none of those guys won the Big Ten. Not one of them.
No, there's a certain recipe, and also like you could go off recipe. You
Well-
could if you have a good quarterback, maybe is that the rule for the Big Ten? You have to have a bad quarterback and a great defense to win.
Well, that's why I think Nebraska should go with this recipe. Just recruit better quarterbacks.
I was to say so.
Maybe that's the
you have to get rid
that's
of
the
every
deal.
quarterback on your roster and get bad quarterbacks.
Average quarterbacks. So I don't think anybody is bad if they're a Division I Power 5 quarterback.
Buck, they were bad.
Who's the worst? Spencer Petras, probably.
Definitely Spencer Petras.
Yeah, there's not really even.
Hornibrook won 2, but he was not good.
Was he better than Jack Cohn? You almost forget.
No,
about
Jack
Cohn.
Cohn. Jack Cohn's better than Hornibrook.
Like
Jack Cohn's better than Hornibrook. They're both bad. Wisconsin just can't have a good quarterback. They had Russell Wilson, and after that, they were like, what'd be really cool is if we never did that again.
Yeah. Let's not try an athletic.
Let's not get an
quarterback back
athletic
there.
quarterback. Let's get a guy who sits in the pocket behind this massive offensive line, hands the ball to his running backs, and when we need him to pass, he can't pass more than 15
just
yards
won't
down
work,
the field. Just
yeah.
like little dump passes.
So I don't know
Goodness
what that
gracious.
exercise does for you, but it's a fun exercise.
That makes me sad.
That just makes you sad.
Those are the quarterbacks Nebraska has lost to. Nebraska has lost to all of those quarterbacks.
But not just lost to those quarterbacks. Like they're like at the bottom of these divisions.
Yeah.
With these quarterbacks. These are the guys that are reigning supreme. Nebraska's on the opposite end of that the last couple of years. Hopefully the change is in. Hopefully Nebraska is moving up. They're on top of the Big Ten West now. So we'll see if they can continue that throughout the rest of the season. Of course, we've got our preview show tomorrow. Brian Munson will be aboard. We'll also look at ticket prices from across the nation. Rico, a little preview to that, was telling me Tennessee, Alabama ticket prices are going crazy.
Kind of expensive.
And very cool, by the way, for Tennessee. Josh Heupel, that program, they've been kind of on the Nebraska path of down as long as Nebraska has been. So cool to see them get back. Also a little bit jealous. But that'll wrap it up for the Ticket Water Cooler. Happy Hour coming up next here on The Ticket.
Life-changing research doesn't just take place in outer space. It's also happening right here in Nebraska, and you could play a key role.